Now that's from the heart. You can't script
That's
that.
what we're talking about.
You can't script that.
Youth Forum brought together a coalition of students from different organizations that are currently organizing and working in the city to come down and engage in a conversation. We chose to ask them similar questions that we reflected on at Mackinac, and that's what we brought on the stage. Like, we all uniquely took different things away from the Youth Forum. So when we collectively spoke, it kind of highlighted the entire Youth Forum.
One thing that stuck out to me was Detroit youth has a problem with the overall infrastructure of the city. They feel like that these systems aren't well built to help equip them with the resources and opportunities they need to live the life of their dreams.
Youth want to be paid. Detroit youth are tired of having these internships that they're just working for free, and they're not actually able to get paid for their services and the insight that they provide.
We just have to acknowledge that we have to be willing to invest in Detroit's youth and figure out creative, innovative ideas on doing so.
I just knew I was on a mission. A lot of times when you understand when you're on a mission, other emotions such as doubt, fear, they tend to not consume you.
For me, I was nervous. I don't know about Logan. I don't know. He's a different breed. I was very nervous at how receptive the adults were going to be to what we were saying. That they were actually going to invest in what we were mentioning and bringing up.
I think the day of the conference, I was trying to go through my list, like make sure I say the right things or preparing for the stage. And I was with them. They're seeing me try to get my words together, and they're like, "Nah, just go up there and speak your mind." Like, I feel like you have the experiences, you have the understanding of our communities to speak your mind. Having the three of us there together was really helpful, kind of in terms of we're able to rely on each other for support.
This hierarchical system that was made before us, it needs to be completely torn down. And I personally think that's why we're Gen Z, because if you think about it, Z is at the end of the alphabet, and that's because we're the means to the end. Like, after us, all the systems that came before us that put people in these places to not give everyone equitable resources and opportunities is gone after us.
We're like the information digital age of what our ancestors could be. We are the Garveys and the Dr. Sabies and the Martin Luther Kings, but we're the digital age versions.
Organizations, they'll say, we want youth to feel like they have power. How can we make them feel like they have power? And I go in and say, how can you give youth power in those spaces? How can you ensure that what they're saying, there's going to be solutions following after the words that you heard?
Yeah, I think in so many cases I've served on multiple teen councils and youth boards where what I was saying wasn't actually producing anything, and we were just there to be there. We were there to be charted out in front of donors, and exploited, and our stories just shared just to raise funds. But when it was actually time to put in the work, we were pushed off to the side, and we weren't actively being engaged in any productive way.
That room had a lot of different organizations, entities, and companies in there. So for him to mention it there, it kind of pushed a lot of folks that were in these high positions to consider or reflect, are we actually doing that? You know what's funny, though? They have the young leaders. They're all 30.
Yeah,
35 out.
Why are Detroit young leaders 35, 30 to 35? How? No offense, but that's not really young. Most of you have kids and you have careers and master's degrees. I'm still working on my bachelor's. I'm considered young. How are you making sure that you check off that box of Black and brown youth, but not just checking off the box to say you did it, checking off the box to provide that opportunity?
Skillman's call to action is doing exactly what Logan just did. Is to call to ensure that youth are playing an active role in decisions that are being made for the long term, and inviting folks of power who hold power and powerful positions to say, hey, youth need to be involved in this process. How can we get more youth involved in this process, and what steps can we take with youth leading the way to ensure more equitable space for youth and the long term development of the city of Detroit and then the state of Michigan. And so several companies rose their hands. I believe it was like 32-ish companies rose their hands to actually take on youth to go about doing that. So we're actually going to be having a few listening sessions to encourage youth to come and actually learn what that's actually going to look like. And then the next step is going to be actually youth going to work with companies to build out their master plan and how to actually engage and solve those issues that the companies are going to raise with them. I want to take away how accessible these leaders were, and then to talk to them and they actually are listening. I think I asked a question to the mayor, and he looked at me and said, and then he asked a follow up. I was like, oh, okay. I wasn't even prepared for a follow up because I'm so used to just being blown off. So I think my takeaway, and I think I mentioned it at the Mackinac Policy Conference, you can't invite me to a table that's already mine, and to be in a space where I actually felt that way, and knowing that this space is meant for me to grow and learn and be around phenomenal leaders. I mean, it was really exciting.
The accommodations, the hospitality, and the opportunity that was provided by Skillman to even prepare us, take us in that, and then most importantly, they don't put a filter on us because too many entities do that, was really kind of, I found that very profound, and I think NG League's leadership is a testament to that.
The opportunities that we've been given in the just 2 years has opened up many doors if I didn't have this opportunity. So just want to extend my gratitude to the team at Skillman and our CEO / best friend, Angelique Power.